This episode is sponsored by Paradox Interactive. Two centuries after its collapse, amidst abandoned worlds and crumbling ruins, it is impossible to deny that the Star Union lost its way. Democracy was replaced with tyranny, noble idealism with cold pragmatism, and merit became worthless in favor of connections. It is easy to account for the fall of civilization as some natural, inevitable occurrence. Easy, but false. The collapse of the Union was aided by a group of individuals whose overwhelming desire for power and wealth exceeded every other concern. It is perhaps the greatest injustice that many of them survived the cataclysm, and together with their scions, plot still to preserve what they have taken, and seize what they have not. Across the galaxy, the fearful whisper tales of the old aristocracy, the true power behind the Star Union, the Syndicate. How exactly the ruling families of the Syndicate consolidated their power has been lost to history. All that can be reliably accepted is that the seeds of their eventual dominance were planted even before the establishment of the Star Union. Individuals of formidable talent rose through the ranks of government, industry, or finance, and through either a decisive vision or the elimination of the competition, ensured they remained influential. In death, power was passed on to their sons and daughters, until ruling dynasties emerged across the Union. These aristocratic families embraced the hereditary potential for psionic mastery, and the DNA of the most brilliant were incorporated into genetic lines. Each generation emerged smarter and more capable, until names like House Suntoro, Gradu, Nidar, Pruic, Voyan, and Timur became synonymous with success and extravagance. The most powerful amongst them established vast trading companies, acquiring entire star systems the way ordinary citizens might collect vintage music. During the Cataclysm, their immense resources spared many of their station from sharing the same fate as the common people, before emerging centuries later from their private bunkers and luxury retreats. Those same resources have allowed them to rebuild their houses, free of even the minimal oversight once enforced by the Star Union. Each house operates differently, for the ruling elite of the Syndicate see themselves as above such petty concerns as civil government. Some houses are tyrannical dictatorships, others lawless anarchist collectives, while some, for all appearances, function as elected democracies. In every instance, however, the members of the Syndicate hold true power, purchased either directly or discreetly from those they would govern. It is a common practice to acquire personal debt, turning entire families into indentured servants or soldiers until such time this debt has been repaid with interest. Such control leads easily to a sense of superiority, and many aristocrats see their subjects as their personal property. Control over the population is maintained through a variety of methods, from technological augmentation designed to make the affected more docile, to psionic control, and even the far cheaper method known even in antiquity as bread and circuses. In exchange for reduced rations, inferior housing, or other concessions, a servant may be able to acquire their citizenship and freedom early, but for the majority of those owned by the houses of the Syndicate, this promise is an illusion. Without the protection and sustenance provided by their masters, most perish before ever breathing air as free men. Most choose instead to lay low, keep quiet, and obey orders. Within their own ranks, the Syndicate is bound to their own unique code of dignity. Outward displays of aggression or violence are frowned upon, but should a member gain power too quickly, bestow too generous a gift, or even marry the wrong person, they risk discreet assassination. Against foreign adversaries, the Syndicate prefers covert methods as opposed to open war. Diplomacy is heavily favored, but only as a means of distracting or lulling future enemies into a false sense of security. High-level manipulation keeps rivals at war amongst themselves, technology in the right hands, and even allies confused and easily coerced. When violence must be deployed, it is done so with great accuracy and always where it might fully exploit an enemy weakness. speed, and precision define the doctrine of the Syndicate, masked by misinformation. Every soldier has been bought and paid for by their subjugators, from indentured conscripts to hired privateers. What type of universe emerges from the ashes of the Star Union remains to be seen, but unless every member of the old aristocracy is exposed and destroyed, the mistakes of the past cannot be corrected. Power, it is said, tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Thanks to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this investigation into the clandestine tyrants of the Syndicate. Age of Wonders Planetfall is the latest turn-based strategy game in the critically acclaimed Age of Wonders series. If you're planning to buy Age of Wonders Planetfall so you can lead your people out of the cosmic dark age that has fallen across the galaxy, use our affiliate link in the description. Are you going to be in Berlin this weekend for ParadoxCon? Drop by our booth for some exclusive relics obtained at great cost by the Templin Institute.